What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a top 5 video planned today, specifically my top 5 favorite superheroes / comic book characters. So basically the criteria is you're in a comic book, you're a superhero, and you are a part of the LGBTQIA+ community. Starting at number 5 is John Constantine from DC Comics. I found out about him when I was like 13, 14. That's when I actually started getting into comics. And I didn't even know he was bisexual. I didn't know anything regarding that. I just knew he had magic, and I really liked magic, and he was a part of the Justice League Dark team, which is my favorite DC superhero team. Be next to the Gotham City Sirens and Birds of Prey. But yeah, he's super cool. The reason why he made it to this list is his sexuality isn't a big deal. Like, they don't really talk about it in the comics. It's just kind of like, oh, he likes guys and girls. Cool, let him do that. And I don't know, I really like it when, yes, we have the queer characters, but their identity is not just the fact that they're queer. It's like their queerness is just a part of them being a hero. It's just one aspect of their character, and they have a whole bunch of others. And also, like, he has so much depth and character development in him. He's not even like, I mean, more in the like newer DC lines, there hasn't been a whole lot of him in it, but he still has like so much character depth that doesn't rely on his sexuality, almost has nothing to do with his sexuality, but he's still not like an advocate, but he's still open about his sexuality, and they're not just like, just so you guys know, this character is bisexual, but we're only gonna make him have sexual relations with women. He's bisexual, and he dates, hits on men and women, and it's one big happy time. Also, he's in the show Legends of Tomorrow, which is a really terrible show, but it's really funny in a really bad way. And he's in it, and he is with a male character, and me being gay, I really like that. So yeah, that's number 5. Oh, and reading for this specific character, I have 2. One, the Hellblazer Vertigo. That was when he first started. He was a part of DC's Vertigo line, which is more of the rated M, spicy comics that DC makes. And his title was Hellblazer. Super good, super dark, magic, love all of that. And then the New 52 Justice League Dark. Yes, New 52 is not good. We do not accept it as a fan base. But I really like Justice League Dark. John Constantine was kind of the leader, and he was super cool in it. So yeah, go read those. Number 4 is gonna have 2 people in it. It's Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, but specifically them together. I have loved Harley and Ivy since I was like 9 years old. My first introduction to comics were the Batman Arkham games, and the first one came out, I think, in 2009 or 10. I played them. Immediately when Ivy came on screen, I was like, this is my girl. I love her powers, I love what she stands for, I just love her so much. And then like, my brother loved Batman when we were kids, so naturally I was like, well, you like Batman, I like the Joker. So then because I like the Joker, I like fell in love with Harley, but then like, I fell too in love with Harley and kind of forgot about the Joker, and then I was like, the Joker and Harley, they're not good. I don't like them. I'm an adult now. I can understand that their relationship is bad. And then she got with Ivy, and it was just so good. I love it so much. I love them both. I really love Ivy. I don't know if it's a brain, but I have like Harley here, Ivy here. Just love, and I love them. And the reasons why they are on number 4 and not higher up, even though I tell them to say how much I love them. DC, for some reason, likes to tell us that they're dating and that they're together and everything, but they don't like to show it. And I don't know why, because as a collective fan base, there isn't really anyone that doesn't approve. Everybody loved them together, everyone wanted them together. But DC, like in all of Harley's comics, they just have her kind of say, I love Ivy, or, oh, can't wait to go tell Pamela that I did this thing, but then there is no interaction with them being intimate together at all, and it makes no sense. But the times they are together, like, they are actually good, and they have a healthy relationship where they both like help each other with their flaws, try to make each other better people, as opposed to it just being like they're the kids she is probably like my number 2 favorite comic book character, 1/2 favorite comic book character ever. And this was before her and Harley were like officially dating, but it was kind of when they were trying to like transition Harley out of the Joker and into Ivy. And Ivy is like struggling with being a good guy, and she's like, oh, I don't want to like kill people anymore, but I still want to like do my research and help the planet. And then Harley comes in and like talks her down and is like, you can't kill people, like you're a good person. And it's really nice. So yeah, go read those two, they're really great. Number 3 on the list is Iceman from X-Men. I never really cared about anything Marvel when I was a kid. I grew up with DC. It wasn't until I was like 15, 16 when I was like, ooh, Marvel comics, let's try and read those. And even then, X-Men wasn't huge on my radar. I knew about them, like I'd seen the movies, but I never really knew anyone aside from like Mystique, Cyclops, and Wolverine and Storm. Like that was it. And then for some reason, I saw Iceman had his own like solo comics last year, and I was like, the artwork looks cool, I want to get more into X-Men, like let's just read it. And then I'm like reading it and it's like, oh, Iceman's gay now, and I was like, what? I didn't know this. So I did some research. He just recently came out, and reading his line, like it's really good. Going into like why he's my number 3 is because not only was it like a kind of a natural thing where it's just like, oh, Iceman's on his own now, oh, now we get to see more about him, hey, he's gay, just so y'all know, like this is a part of him. And it wasn't like a, we're gonna retcon this character to make them inclusive. It was just kind of, they never were able to touch upon his sexuality as a team member, but now as a solo member they can. And one thing I love, like one of my favorite things about the way they write his character is being in a relationship and like sex is not a big deal to him. He doesn't care about it. And that's just so refreshing to see in any sort of media that represents queer people, because I feel like in all media that has queer characters or queer relationships, it's almost always about sex, or it's about relationships, or it's just about like, oh, the world doesn't understand me, and it's I'm over it. Personally, I do not care at all about sex. I think it doesn't matter, or being in a relationship for that matter. So like reading Iceman, it was just nice and refreshing to see them have an openly gay character who was not all about being gay, and he had like being in a relationship. He wasn't just like scouting for guys and being like, who can I date, and having sex. He was just kind of like, well, he just doesn't care. Like his friends always like will tell him in the first comic in that series, oh, why don't you join Tinder and find a cute guy and be happy? And he's like, I don't need a guy to be happy. Like I'm a freaking superhero. Like I want to go help people. I don't want to force myself into a relationship. And it was just nice. I loved it. I think we need more of that kind of representation, because it turns queer people from like a fetishization or just as like a throw-in for inclusivity, and it turns them into like humans. And I feel like that's something Hollywood really needs to get a hold of, but that's something I'll talk about in another video if I ever do it. But yeah, and then suggested reading for Iceman, I would just say his latest solo series, and him, I think it's X-Men Blue or Gold. I think Blue. Those are like the two best ones if you're like reading it for like his character and the queerness of it. Otherwise, you're not going to see any of it. So yeah, that was my number 3. So my number 2 is Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know she isn't technically like a superhero, but she's a comic book character. She's in a comic. She does superheroic things. And to be honest, I thought there were a lot more queer superheroes. And when I was doing like research, like getting down my list, like I could not find anyone. Like there were not a lot. And I thought there were actually a lot, and there weren't. So I'm putting Willow because I love Willow with my entire being. And the reason why Willow is number 2 is because, 1, she has magic. If you can't already tell, I love any character that has magic. Magic is my thing. Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, John Constantine, Zatanna, Willow, who else? Wiccan from Young Avengers. Plot twist, he's number 1 on the list. Yeah, anyone that has magic, I'm immediately here for. That's what I love as far as like comic books and everything goes. So yeah, Willow's number 2. Reasons why is her natural progression as a character in the TV show she started off as like heterosexual, and but it wasn't like a I'm a girl, I like guys, huh. She was like super quiet. It was more like she loved her friend Xander, not really like guys. And then like she met Oz and they were together for a while, whatever. And then she became a Wiccan and started doing witchcraft and like helped the Buffy gang. And when she was doing that, she like really came into herself as a character. And that's when like she was like, oh, I should be confident in myself. I'm not weak. I can do something. I can help. And that blossomed into her realizing that she's a lesbian. And it was really nice seeing like the discovery aspect of what it's like being a queer teenager, and then realizing like, oh, I'm not straight. I'm gay, bi, lesbian, pan. Like we never see that normally. We just go into it and it's like, this character's gay. They're gay. And like it was nice seeing the actual story for it. And then when she gets her first girlfriend and she meets Tara and she realizes she likes Tara, it's not, guys, I'm a lesbian, like I love Tara. It's more like, I don't know, I really like her. I don't want to be with Oz or Xander. I want to be with Tara. And then even all of her friends, like there was like one moment where Buffy was like, oh, what? But then like immediately after she processed, she was just like, then be with Tara, be happy. And it was just so great. Again, good representation has nothing to do with sex or fetishization. It's just nice. And as Willow realized she was a lesbian, her self-confidence and her power as a team member grew. And I really like the correlations of that growth together. And I think that's it for my points on why I love Willow. As far as suggested reading, pretty much anything Buffy, anything in the Buffy comics, because she's a main character, she's Buffy's best friend. But specifically, let me go grab that comic too. So around like 2015-16, Dark Horse did like a solo line of like 6 comics for each character, and Willow is one of them. I have it right here. And it's basically like each character goes on their own little solo story. And for Willow, one, the art is amazing. Let me find like a really good point. Like this cover, it's so beautiful. I love all the coloring in it. But Willow's story, basically like magic is gone and she has to go fix it. And it's a whole like adventure, and it's not like it focuses on her sexuality because Willow's like magic and her spiritual beliefs it's very like feminist driven. Like yes, Buffy is like a feminist like icon, but Willow is really the character in the series that like pushes like equal rights for women and everything. So on top of just having like full equality for everybody, it like pushes on the fact that like her, not like outcastness, but her being different to society is what makes her stronger. And it's just a big, good story arc. The art is beautiful. Willow is a beautiful character. Yeah, I love her. So you guys should go read that, definitely. Even if you're like a Buffy fan, but you're not like a fan of Willow like as much as everyone else, it's still like a really good Buffy comic, even though Buffy isn't in it, but the lore of the universe is, and it's just so good. All right, my number 1 is Wiccan from Young Avengers and Marvel. You guys knew this was coming. Not only is he the son of Scarlet Witch, who Scarlet Witch is my number 1. I am totally in love with her. I love everything about her. I have a little Scarlet Witch right here with Harley and Ivy. She's just amazing. I love her powers. I love her story. I love her character depth. So when I found out that she had a son, I was like, okay, I need to like find out about this character. Like, where can I find this? So I got Young Avengers in the Marvel Now, I think in like 2014 or 2015. And I was like reading it and I was like, oh, there he is. He has magic. Oh, that's really cool. Obviously I like this. And then in the beginning of the story, like it's just like him like reading a comic book or something on the bus. And I was like, oh, he likes comic books. I relate to this too. He's a nerd. Like, yes. And then he comes up to his boyfriend and I was like, he's gay too? What? I don't know. I just really relate to him because not only like, oh, he's gay, like I relate to the gay characters, but he also, is the son of Scarlet Witch, so we love that. His power is magic. His name is Wiccan, and he was also like not the like WeHo like super fashionable, super outgoing like gay character. He's not that stereotype. He's like super introverted, and he's like a nerd, and I feel like that's also like queer representation we never get. Is every like representation of like a gay character or a lesbian character is like the gay character is this like super flamboyant, like flashy character who's like, oh guys, blah blah blah, and then the counterpart, the lesbian character, is always like super feminist, super like let's fight for rights, and we never get any in between. We never get any sort of, I guess, diversity in these kinds of characters. So when I was reading Young Avengers and I found that, I was like, this is good. I like this. And even like his boyfriend Hulkling, I mean, like, I kind of don't really care about Hulkling aside from the fact that they're dating, because like Hulkling is kind of a bland character, but he's like the school jock. He's on like the football team and everything. So it was also like, oh, he's also dating this character who is traditionally a masculine cishet role, and they flip it and it's like, oh, he's dating the introverted nerd boy, and it's like super nice. It's super sweet. The relationship is not sexual at all. Like, the relationship is purely emotional, and they're just always there for each other. They're a team, and then that translates into Wiccan being the leader of Young Avengers, and just their relationship, their like fights that they have, everything ends up translating into the way he leads the team and the way he like interacts with the team members and helps them out. And it's just really great. I love seeing queer representation that is like humanizing. It has that, I'm gonna keep saying this, I hate queer representation that involves sex. Like, I'm not saying sex is bad, like pro sex, like I'm totally okay with that, but when Hollywood makes the entirety of queer characters their driving goal is like sex, or they're fetishized, it's not representation. It's not good representation, which is why I think comic books and books in general are a really good like place to pull from as far as like diverse characters, because they have the room to have these diverse characters and make the fact that they are outcast or any form of like non-cishet white community, and they have the time to evolve these characters something more than just what they look like or who they identify as. And yeah, I like it. It's nice and refreshing to finally see and relate to characters who are like that. Alright you guys, that is my list of my top 5 favorite LGBTQIA+ superheroes / comic book characters. If there are any I missed, any that you have on your list that you look up to, put them in the comments below. I will read them. I will check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to take our relationship to the next level, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I will wait for you. I'll leave links to my socials, Instagram and Twitter, in the description, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!